After the CCP National Congress deliberations, Chinese President Xi Jinping unveiled his new team for his record-breaking third term, promoting rising stars to the country's highest decision-making body. President Xi's highly anticipated work report at the opening of the Communist Party's twice-a-decade National Congress in Beijing on Sunday served as a blueprint for his grand vision for China. Commentators are rushing helter-skelter to grab clues and hints that would throw light on what China, under Xi Jinping's leadership, will do during his third term in office. In terms of domestic policy, the situation is complex and challenging. The Chinese economy has shown a downward trend. It could be because of COVID-19, past and present, or because of the revised trade policy of the US and other Western countries. In foreign policy, tensions have deepened between the US and China. Quad is a serious irritant and a catalyst for increased military power and preparedness. China is embroiled in border disputes with her neighbors, including India's long Himalayan borderline. Here China has adopted the sword-rattling policy to impress upon her neighbors the power and influence of China. Xi Jinping's nearly 2-hour-long address to the National Congress is perhaps the most critical policy statement that should be analyzed to understand what direction he intends to adopt during his third term. He called for faster military development and announced no change in policies that have strained relations with Washington and tightened the Communist Party's control over society and the economy. Faster military development means faster inventions, innovations, and diversification of the war machine, restructuring of all three arms of the defense forces, enhanced budgetary allocations, and induction of new training methods for the troops. The term faster military development aims to make China the militarily most advanced state of the world. We have seen that China has been pursuing this policy in recent months and years, be it the Navy, Air Force, or land forces and related auxiliaries. In short, China means that she is militarily aiming to become the world's topmost power. Secondly, she does not think of ironing out differences with the US through bilateral or multilateral dialogue. He has almost discarded that option when he says that there will be no change in policies that have strained relations with the US. Besides trade issues, one primary source of irritation in relations is Taiwan. She has clarified that China will use force to guard her right over Taiwan. This is a serious statement, and its consequences could be far-reaching and, of course, threatening the peace in the region. The entire shift focuses on the Indo-Pacific Ocean. China has already established its supporting naval bases in Sri Lanka, Gwadar, and the Horn of Africa. After launching the third aircraft carrier, China is fast moving to acquire nuclear subs, which will give immense strength to China's naval power. In his address, Xi declared that the party plans calls for creating a prosperous society by mid-century and restoring China to its historic role as a political, economic, and cultural leader. This is the objective, but Xi did not specify what economic reformative measures he would contemplate to bring prosperity to Chinese society by the mid-century. Currently, China is faced with an economic slump, and its development has sunk to 3.3%. The Chinese handling of COVID-19 when it surfaced in Wuhan 2 years ago was shabby and inadequate. They would hold Xi responsible for the disaster created by the pandemic. The condition is no better today. The zero-COVID policy has seen long and oppressive lockdowns, immensely hurting the economic life of the people. Many companies have wound up in China and sought other places for investment. Despite repeated warnings, pointless formalities, bureaucratized, hedonism, and extravagance persisted in some localities and departments. Privilege-seeking mindsets and practices posed a serious problem. And some deeply shocking cases of corruption had been uncovered, the report presented by President Xi said. Xi's report reflects the truth in the rumors of in-party dissensions by strange coincidence. The report blames some people for lack of confidence in the socialist political system with Chinese characteristics, including those who ignored the related laws. It also raised questions about the party's environmental protection efforts and ensuring people's well-being. According to the report, the systems for safeguarding national security were inadequate, and the party's capacity to respond to various risks, including national defense and the military, was insufficient. In sum, we can safely say that the outcome of the week-long deliberations at the party level has converged on a move forward in defense and security areas and a continuation of the pattern of relations with the United States of America. The path of discussing bilateral issues through friendly dialogue is not an option. There is no mention of mending fences with smaller nations in the region that China's aggressive postures have hurt. Xi's address has let out the full steam of his grandiose ambition of a great China. believing that the progress and prosperity of the world depend on the progress and prosperity of China.